We are going live. Good evening,
Hi,
ladies.
everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you
Gentlemen.
doing today?
Yes.
Yeah, I remembered from the last time. So, yeah, we are back with another series on our womenopreneur tribe leaders, global
Visibility
visibility tribe.
program.
Yes, so here we are, and today we have a very, very special guest with us,
Yes.
and she is Dr. Azeeza. I will let you say a little bit about her before I jump in.
Yes, and welcome everyone. I'm Dr. Azeeza Jalaludeen, founder of Go Global Business School, and I'm so happy here to be in this session with you on the Womenopreneur Tribe Leaders Global Visibility Program. And with me, I have my beautiful, beautiful host, who is from Malaysia, Miss Vanitha Krishnasamy, founder of AdMy concept. Thank you so much. And today's session that we'll be having, and this is a series of sessions, we will be bringing to you and for you to learn from some amazing women who are part of the shining lights, recognized shining lights of the Womenopreneur online series we launched on July 7th. That was the magic number. We have a group of fabulous, elite guiding lights, I would call them, who have made their mark in amazing ways in their own life. And it's just beautiful how these women have come together in our portfolio from Singapore and Malaysia. And I thank Ms. Vanitha for putting this whole thing together. So much of effort. I know how much she works day and night to ensure the women get the visibility. And it's so exciting that we are now interviewing. She was the first to be interviewed, and now we have the second lady in the house, and she's behind stage, as we call it in the StreamYard room. And she is Dr. Anusha Nair. It is very interesting when we had a conversation with her. Everybody talk about generational businesses that run into generation. And she has taken over her father's business of 40 years, and everybody be wondering what business. Really a practitioner in business, a general practitioner with a very interesting context of projects, or rather, what do you call that? Medical. I'm not very bad in medical terms, right? These medicinal things that they have researched, and they're all scientists. To me, they are like, wow, scientists, people who have done research to create cures, and they are doctors. They can talk about cures. We love that, and how they can actually present to people very interesting therapies and treatments that can support the people. So in the tradition business of 40 years, this woman, I mean, like, oh my God, she and her brother does the takeover of the business, but she has ventured into her own entrepreneurial journey. And this is very exciting. And that's why Ms. Vanitha felt that she's someone that we want to really get on the tribe, because she is a shining light that has been leading the forte for a very interesting group of women who are second generation, third generation. As many of us know, usually the businesses die off by the third generation. But here she has reinvented something. And so that is an exciting time for us to learn from her and put it together. So Miss Vanitha, please do the honor of introducing this woman. My heart just goes out to getting this going. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. So today we have a lovely, lovely Dr. Anusha Nair. Hello, Dr. Anusha.
She's not
Reveal
here yet.
yourself.
Reveal herself. Okay, you want her to be revealed. You want to introduce her while I reveal her?
Yes. So Dr. Anusha is, of course, a practicing doctor, but she's also taken over her father's 40-year-old business. Her father created something quite amazing, a treatment. I think it's a machine. She probably would be able to, explain it better. Yes. But a machine or a treatment apparatus that is able to treat various ailments. So he actually invented this, and Dr. Anusha has actually taken this over, and she runs it via her clinic Gengar in PJ. But along the way, the transition that's happened to her is also because she's been so interested in traditional medicine, and she tried to fuse that with modern medicine. So she's come up with a really, really interesting natural beauty care products as well. So under her beauty care products, she now it does all these other researches, for I think face care, hair care, and so forth. And this is under her brand name Noosh Naturals. So I am very, very happy, and I'm really excited to introduce to you Dr. Anusha Nair.
Welcome, Dr. Anusha.
Yes, our
welcome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Also our tribe. Hi.
Have a tribe music next time.
Hi, Dr. Anusha.
Hi, how are you? How is everyone?
We're good.
I'm good.
Okay, this is nice.
It's nice
Sorry
that
to
your
give you guys
background kind of
assistance
matches all the colors today. Somehow. How are you
You
today?
are
How have you been?
I have been busy. Have been busy.
Yes,
as
of course.
as you both have been very, very busy.
Yes, exactly.
You're
Was
still-
I right in using your father's invention? I said it is like a machine, an apparatus. I was trying to get the right word. So was I right in saying that? I mean, I'm sure
not
you'd be the
really.
best person to explain. No,
Yeah,
okay, not really. All right. Please tell us.
Okay, so of course, my father started it 40 years ago. Started out dabbling in because in alternative therapy. Yeah, around the 1970s. So at first he was into acupuncture, and he was also very into herbal medicine, Ayurveda, and all that stuff. But I think there was some sort of a disconnect between traditional medicine and modern medicine. So there is no kind of a way to amalgamate traditional science with anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. There wasn't a way to present it to the medical community so that they would accept it. They would always view it as a sub-science, as a kind of something that wasn't scientifically relatable to any sort of physical thing. So the method that he's come up with is called neuroelectrovascular stimulation, which is a kind of a way to fuse Eastern and Western medicine, basically. So we look at the body anatomically, but we also acknowledge things like chakras, things like meridians, and we try and find where the overlap is. And by doing that, we are able to kind of figure out, okay, so in traditional medicine, they were trying to talk about a chi being blocked, or they're talking about a heat being built up, your yin and your yang. What are these things actually? So basically, what we came up with is a system which is quite scientific, in where it maps out the cerebral or the vasculature which is involved, which is not draining well into its tributary arteries. That means think of a body like a river, and that there is the main mother river, which has to receive all the streams. And if any of those streams are not flowing well, then you will have a backflow, a flooding of the surrounding areas, and that is basically edema. So we kind of map out these circulatory systems which are possibly not flowing well, which is what they call chi, as being blocked. And we hone in on those areas very specifically, so that we can get these tributaries going back into the mother vessels, and then unblocking your chi in that way. So we map it out very scientifically. We know exactly where it's going, and how to and using electrical pulse, we undo that particular chi blockage or whatever. We in traditional terms it's called that, but we call it poor venous return. So that and we've actually kind of gone back to, okay, so if this particular blood vessel doesn't drain, what are the areas which are being affected. If these areas are being affected, what happens? And then we kind of follow the domino effect as to how the person becomes ill. So by slowly turning, going back to the root of the problem, of course, diet and lifestyle is extremely important. So we emphasize seriously on that, but also into realigning the circulatory system so that there is less inflammation. And in terms of, you're talking about yin and yang, so yin and yang being hot and cold, and what we classify that as basically pH. So whether you're acidic or alkaline, basically that. So so in a nutshell, that is what it is.
Your 40 years history in the business shows it, because we have someone putting up a testimony immediately when he's writing so much about how much they have been benefited from all this. So this is wonderful to share with people of of all these things. So you have gone into, from your traditional business of or practice, into a new business.
Yes.
So can you please share with us what is I think Vanitha has a questions for you as well. So I would love to jump in to ask you,
sure,
what inspired you to move on to, or rather add on to what you're doing right now?
Yeah. I mean, my father had done a lot of legwork, but and finally when we came on board into the practice, I said, look, Dad, you've done a lot of work, but you need to kind of consolidate it somehow. So my sister and I helped him write his PhD, his thesis, because he's a doer. He's not, he's a very much practical person. He's a rule breaker. He's a rogue. So we kind of had to like say, okay, now you've done all this, you've gone to trouble, and you've broken all your whatever boundaries. So now we kind of need to like, okay, fence it up, and so that it's more acceptable in a way that people can understand it better. So we helped him write his PhD. That's one thing, but for the method, and the thing is, I also want there to be some sort of a way that we can also, like, many people would come to us and they say, oh yeah, you're only here in PJ, you don't have any clinic anywhere else. I say, yeah, we're only here. Say, why you don't open here, why you don't open there? And like every day it's the same thing. And because it's a very hands-on thing, I wanted to create something that we could actually give to patients, that they could transcend the methods, so that they could use it at home. Something that was easy to use. And at first I tried to do something which was for the brain, and I actually took the idea all the way to university, USM in Kubang Krian, and I 2 years ago I took my little gadget and I presented it to them, and they were like, great, now try it on a mouse.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So I said, oh, okay, I guess not. So I said, okay, scrap that. I'll keep that on the back burner for now. But I had another invention at the same time, which was for the knee. So that was what I developed, and I managed to, because we treat a lot of pain as well. So the thing that I developed was for osteoarthritis, that people could just strap on they strap it on themselves and like control it with a button, and it kind of sends electrical pulse stimulation to certain points in the leg, which are relevant to the vasculature. And I'm just working on. I've already managed to patent that invention, and I'm in the works with University Malaya to. We've already done preliminary research on about 30 patients now, and the results are showing very promising results. So I'm working on trying to get funding for that project, and I don't know, fingers crossed.
Invention runs in your blood.
You know what's amazing? What's amazing? Just listening to you speak. You are so passionate. I see that all your dads, you called your dad a bit of a rogue, and I feel that all that is kind of passed on to you, in a very good way, of course, in a very good way. Because here you are breaking boundaries and taking it to the next level, continuing to do that. And the most interesting thing is you have kind of juxtapose the whole thing now into moving into beauty, right? You do all that skincare and you do hair care, which is also research that you've also done. You've moved in a transition into that, which is amazing.
Well, that one started because I needed to fund this big black hole of an invention that I created. So because when you so when you have something like a startup, and when you have an invention which is new, you have to pump in a lot of money in terms of patenting, in terms of R&D, for research. So basically every single cent and penny that I make from Noosh goes back into my gadget, so that so that I can kind of bankroll that.
So it was more a necessity, Doc, and as opposed to it being the fact that, I mean, I know how much of heart you put into it because I see it, I've used it and it's amazing. Yeah. So I know it's all done out of, a place of love. But then I also now you're telling the backstory. It was like a necessity, wasn't it?
Yeah, but well, apart from that, of course, I've actually, since a few years ago, switched over to natural products because, the kind of work we do, and we realize that the money-making industry of cosmetics and over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, and how much chemicals go into it, and the hormone disruption that takes place when we use unnatural products, and when we are constantly exposing ourselves to these kind of things. Because it's a scary thing. To have patients come in with all sorts of problems because of what they've been exposed to. So with 3 small children, I kind of made the conscious decision I want to change over all my products. So as I was developing that for myself and my family, and of course my son, when he was very young, he had very bad eczema. So I started out making that balm for him. We used to go through sleepless nights. I had to bandage him like a mummy because he was weeping everywhere, full of sores. But when he was little, I was this was 10 years ago. My son is now 10. So I was just joined my father at that time. I was my father's biggest skeptic, if you would believe it. I was like, you talk nonsense. How can you say you are the best of this, best of that? So I was his biggest skeptic. So when he was like, can you just trust me and just put your son through the treatment? And I'm like, no, I'm going to try it, find the best skin specialist. And so so I went all over. Of course, it got worse and worse and worse. And then finally I said, okay, do whatever. So we did
you
the
tortured your son. In your skeptic game, you tortured your son.
Yeah. Yes. So finally we did the treatment for my son. He was 1 and a bit, and we plastered the points onto him when he was fast asleep. And within the next day, we could see such a dramatic difference in his skin. All the wet weeping had dried up, and it was really drastic, the change. And of course I was using it. I was at that point I had gone here, there, everywhere, bought every single cream that was out there, and one of my father's friends had come down at that point. He is one of my our Ayurvedic naturals raw material suppliers from India. So he had the right to farm sea buckthorn fruit from a certain part in India, and so it was wild, pure, organic sea buckthorn oil, and he's like, use it, it's very good. So I kind of like concocted a little cream out of it, and we started using that for my son, and it was really, really effective. Combined with the treatment, he made a full recovery. So yeah, that was so that was the start of the skincare. And then I started giving it to my patients, and then since I had all the ingredients, I was like, okay, maybe I can make this, and maybe I can make that. And I went for a 2-year aesthetic course, and I learned about what goes into the skin creams and stuff like that. And finally, I kind of didn't like aesthetics, because the whole idea was to sell beauty in a way that was very artificial and very superficial, and you have to convince people that they're not good enough, and that, oh, your nose can be straighter, or your smile can be poutier, your cheeks can be higher, and then do this and do that. I'm like, I'm not going to go and tell people to do this kind of stuff. And I think people look good enough. Just be the best version of you. Why do you have to look like anything else? So yeah. So I mean, I took the good out of that course, basically, and then that kind of speared me on towards creating my skincare.
Okay. So Miss Vanitha, you have a question. Oh no, she's frozen, is she? She is like so smiling, frozen. Okay, let her come back, and we'll keep her happy there, and she can be smiling. And what we want to know is, because right now we're going into the womenopreneur tribe leader, and you were one of our Shining Lights Award winner. We really acknowledge you for the kind of effort you're taking amidst all your work, your professional service, your family, and now you're into entrepreneurship. What is it that you see that tribe partnership, like this whole thing getting into space? What is your take on it? How you feel you are able to contribute to the space?
I mean, I would definitely be able to relate my experiences with people, and in terms of when people, especially for women who go into very unusual fields like inventions and patenting.
Yes, absolutely. You know how much that is worth. If people are understanding the power of valuation in business, a patent is one of the biggest thing that people can get into higher valuation for their business. I mean, like, that's amazing. So you have the expertise on that. Yeah, now we're giving her back.
Yes, definitely that. And of course, I would definitely be very keen to impart knowledge as well, in terms of how do we maintain our health, things like that. I would really I love to share what I know. It's there's knowledge is if you don't share it, it withers away. So sharing what we know, giving of ourselves, that's really the essence of things. So I'm very I love to just let people know about my perspectives of health, and and I love to learn from others as well, especially those in the healthcare field, and kind of compare experiences and compare our challenges. I think as a healthcare provider, it's very challenging, because we are dealing with the hopes of people that are set on us, and we have to be there for people. I'll be getting messages at odd times, people saying, oh, help me with this, help me with that, and it's even on my personal time. So you have to be giving of yourself in that way, where you and having somebody to share that with is very, very is nice lah. It's nice.
Yes. We're so excited, and we know that the online series is going to come up real soon with you and the other wellness specialists. We are definitely putting together an empowering team of wellness professionals, and anyone out there who are into the wellness space. And if you are into those, not just doctor, because we have a doctor in the house, we will love to have more doctors who are believing in the holistic approach to life. At the same time, also, if you are into the space of wellness, holistic health, I think we have a role to play together and grow together. So it's going to be really fun. Ms. Vanitha, you want to round up the session as well?
I was just gonna say, how apt, I remember you asked me, why did you, why am I a shining light, and now it's so. Can you not hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So, and I was just gonna say to you, it's so apt that that us recognizing you as a shining light for women. Here you are, and all the things that you.
Vanitha.
You can't hear me?
We can hear you. It's okay, not a problem.
Oh,
She's
okay,
heard.
all right. Okay. So she. Anisha? Okay, so I was just saying that it's such a great thing that we recognized you as the shining light, and exactly why I think it's so apt that the way you believe on all the things that women should do, and how they should perceive themselves, and how we can all as a community of women help each other in doing the things that we do. And it's just really exciting that you're now a tribe leader, and
Yes.
we're looking forward to doing so much more with you, because there are so many plans, so many interesting things happening, and we're looking forward actually. And in the next couple of weeks, we've got so much things to actually announce and introduce. So yes, it's going to be a very, very interesting next few weeks as well. And then again, I think all of you all have just heard what Dr. Anusha said about the fact that she has a career, and yet here she is on the side doing the things that she loves, because you can have it all, I suppose. Isn't that a wonderful thing, right?
Absolutely.
So yep, Dr. Azeeza,
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Anusha, being part of this journey. And we are so excited that, we are able to spend some time with you. And we're going to take this forward in a very empowering way with you. And the next time we're going to see you is another program that we're going to be hosting with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching in.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
See you. See you on
Bye-bye.
Tuesday next week. Good
Yes.
night.